Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I am your host, Taylor Gonzalez, and today I am joined by a very special guest. She is the director of the upcoming horror film Cinderella's Curse. I have Louisa Warren with me today. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very, very good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks so much for joining me. This is so exciting.
No worries.
I am very much looking forward to Cinderella's Curse. I was wondering, because you've directed a lot of horror. You've done Tooth Fairy, The Curse of the Scarecrow, The Leprechaun's Game. What is it about horror specifically that you enjoy so much?
I love horror because when you watch it as an audience, you have a reaction. Do you know what I mean? Like you're guaranteed to be scared or if, you have that kind of who's the killer vibe. And I feel like it's so much more interactive and you can get lost in it much more than you can by, say, for example, watching a drama. And I just feel that, typically they're faster paced. And I just like things that are a bit more exciting.
Yeah, I agree. Horror is my favorite genre. Do you remember the first horror film you ever saw?
Oh, yes, it was called Dolly Dearest. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. And it was about this girl. I saw it on tape at a sleepover with some
Oh,
girly friends, and they got it from their older sister, from Blockbuster, and then they let us watch it, and it was so scary. And this little girl had this doll which was like life-sized, and there were so many shots where you can see them from a distance, and then like the doll like walks by itself, and then there's a bit where there's someone's hand that gets caught in a sewing machine, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this is horrific. And I loved it.
oh, that sounds like fun. I'll have to check that one out.
Oh,
I
it's
have not seen
cool.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that
yeah.
sounds fun. So, your upcoming film, Cinderella's Curse, what can you tell me about it without giving too much away?
Okay, so it's a period film. Um, it's got like kind of Victorian vibes. It's kind of similar to Carrie in a way, in that you've got a girl who has been through so much, and then she has a turning point and then seeks revenge.
Ooh, I love Carrie, so that sounds right up my alley. I was watching the trailer again this morning, and I just cannot wait to see this movie. It looks so fun.
There are some moments.
Did you have a favorite scene in particular to direct?
I think maybe um it's between a couple. There's the ballroom
Hmm.
scenes where you've got loads of people was really hard, but at the same time, it just there's something magical about having all those people in a room, and then you're just getting to the turning point of the movie,
Hmm.
and you're expecting it to go one way, and then Cinderella's expecting it to go one way. Everybody knows that it isn't. And then it just turns. I just think that was really fun to do. Or, as you can see in the trailer, Hannah, Natasha, she gets her toes snipped off. We actually shot that bit twice.
Oh,
First of all, Jess, the special effects makeup person, we had like a foot. And then firstly, it was like an initial slice, and all the toes came off. And then when we did some pickups, I was like, no, let's drag this out. Let's get those toes off one by one. And so we got another foot.
oh my gosh. That sounds hilarious. Oh, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that scene. So I recently interviewed Kelly Rhiannon Sanson, who plays Cinderella in your film. And can you tell me what led to Kelly being the perfect person to portray Cinderella?
Oh, Kelly's amazing.
Hmm.
She's such a good actress. She puts so much heart into it. She's honestly the perfect person because when she acts, she's so endearing to watch. And she's really good at being like kind of demonic as well. She's scary. So yeah, absolute perfect casting. And also by chance, she happens to look kind of like the typical kind of Cinderella that we think of, gorgeous figure, beautiful hair, that just, when everyone thinks of Cinderella. And yeah, perfect casting.
Yeah, I am so excited to see her take on the role of Cinderella. The trailer, everything looks so awesome, and She's so sweet too. After our interview,
I
yeah, we've kept in touch and she's just a very nice, friendly person. So I'm rooting for her and for this film, and I cannot wait.
know.
So, since Cinderella's Curse is a horror film, did anything spooky or scary or unusual happen on set?
What a question. What a question. I love that. Yes, of course. We were filming in a castle. And this castle is so old. And in fact, when I went on my recce, that is the first question. I went round with the like the groundskeeper, and I was like, tell me, is it haunted? And she was like, well, I've had reports. And I was like, no way, no way. And then so I kind of learned which rooms were like the haunted rooms.
Mhm.
And then kind of made a mental note not to not to go near them. And then like sometimes you'd hear kind of, you know what it's like on a set. There's casting crew members are like, oh, I heard something over there, kind of thing. And so that was kind of fueling the set a few times. And there were some people that went to try and find some ghosts, but
Ooh.
yeah, it was kind of scary. And also in this castle, you had so many floors. It wasn't just like a couple of floors. Like it kept and it wasn't like it goes up. Like
Mhm.
this place kept going down, like more
Ooh.
stairs down, more stairs down. And it was like, oh my goodness. And then I had a room, and then next to my room, I had a couple of the camera assistants. And so many times I'd just be in bed thinking, I can hear things upstairs. And then I'm like, but it's okay. I've got the boys next door. They'll save me from the ghost.
Oh my gosh. That makes it more exciting though. Where did it film?
It's in Cast in sorry in Scotland,
Hmm.
in Craigrowney Castle.
Ooh. Okay, I'll have to check that out because that sounds more exciting and more fun. Like hearing these behind the scenes stories and like hearing the creepy things, it's like, oh, I gotta go check this place out.
It is
This
an
is so
Airbnb. People can stay there.
Oh wow. Okay. Now I definitely got to check it out because I'm obsessed with Airbnb. Like I used to do hotels and now it's like anytime I can do an Airbnb because I like taking my dog with me. And
Oh,
she just has like the best time. We recently went to San Francisco and we got an Airbnb and it was like the best week of her life. Like if she could speak and I could say what was the best week of your life, she would say that Airbnb in San Francisco because she walked the Golden Gate Bridge. We did the Golden Gate
oh,
Park. She just had like the best time looking at the sea lions. So yeah, okay,
oh.
Airbnb.
What's
Sponsor
her
me,
name?
Airbnb. Her name?
Yeah.
June.
June. Oh, how sweet.
She's a Chiweenie. She'll be 5 this year. She's like
Oh,
this big.
what? A
So she's
Chewy.
yeah, like a Chihuahua and a Dachshund. I can show you a picture. I don't know
Oh,
how
like
well
a
it'll look on the
sausage
screen.
dog.
She's
Oh.
little. She's not here right now, or else I would pick her up and show her to you. But she's actually going to Starbucks right now. This is her. I don't know how it's gonna look on the screen. She loves her little puppuccinos.
Oh, it's so cute. I
She's the
love.
sweetest. She loves horror movies, by the way.
Oh, does she?
Yeah. So back to back to the questions now that we had that little detour about Airbnb and June. She's gonna love this shout out. You also act, like you don't just direct, you
Yeah.
also act. Do you prefer one role over the other?
It's very different. It's very different. With acting, it's like I feel like when I do that, I have to that's I'd rather if I'm acting in something, just be doing that or doing that and producing. Because otherwise, sometimes you'll see that I've directed a film and been in it. Sometimes that's not through choice. Sometimes it's been like, oh no, there's a mess up with the schedule and actor can't make it. It's like, all right, I've got to be that role now. Um, and so I think that if I've got an acting job via my agent, for example, that's I just did this incredible one in South Africa, and I was like, that is 10 out of 10, incredible, on top of the world. Because sometimes directing it is hard, but then again, directing and producing, you do kind of get more out of it because it's like the whole thing's your baby, if you know what I mean, rather than just your scenes. So it'd be really hard to choose. But I mean, I guess directing is more like it feels a bit more like a job, whereas acting is more of like a big passion, I guess.
Okay, okay. That makes
Not that I'm
sense.
not passionate about directing, it's just it
Right.
can be very traumatic and hard at points
No, I
sometimes.
understand. I totally understand that. Oh, that's cool. That's very interesting. So you're about to bring Cinderella to the big screen. If there were to be another fairy tale that you could adapt and turn into a horror film that hasn't been done yet, is there
Yeah.
another one that you would be interested in?
So there is one that I would love to do, and I keep trying to do it. But I think other people, they've definitely done it because I've seen kind of examples, but not
Mhm.
quite like this. What I want to do is do The Little Mermaid,
Mhm.
but do it as like a crime horror. So it'd be
Ooh.
the Little Meth Maid. And so instead of being under the sea, she's underground, like a bit like Breaking Bad, like cooking up drugs. And
Ooh,
she wants to, when she meets the guy, it's almost like she wants to go into like the new life and get clean.
that sounds
I'd
good.
make it really messed up, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely check that out. Yeah, that's a good adaptation. Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that because it's like normally people just think of doing a straight up just horror twist, but then adding
Yeah.
even another layer. I think that would be a great one. So while
Yeah.
we're on the topic of horror, this is like kind of a little bit left field, out of left field question. Do you have a favorite Halloween costume that you wore growing up?
Okay. Um, so I was the cat in the hat, I think, a few times.
Oh, how
My mum
fun.
made the costume.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I think she just liked the hat element. So I think it's the cat in the hat. And yeah, I think it is.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so you have several upcoming films, including Crooked Man, Cut, Hitman, Sinkhole. Is there one film that you're most excited for people to see?
Um, so I guess so apart from Cinderella, there is so Cut's exciting because it's about people who they're making a film, but then things go wrong, if you catch my drift. And we got to film it in a film studio.
Oh, that's cool.
And we did it a couple of years ago. And it's only just being finished now because it takes some films just take a long time to get
Mhm.
through. So that one I'm particularly excited about because there's just so many people in it. And the characters are like caricatures, and it's very the influences of that are kind of it's like a traditional slasher. Um, and so and the score is very kind of influenced by Halloween. So yeah,
Oh,
there's some
nice.
there's some cool elements in that. And I think my favorite thing about that is just the characters because to make it work, we had to have some of the characters be like completely normal. And then some of them are just like it's almost if you it's kind of theatrical, some of them, because it's like if you kind of go, right, I want like a crazy guy who's always, over the top and has got like a really thick accent and he's always like throwing his arms around and things like that. Like on paper, it just kind of it looks very strange. But then when you kind of put them all together, you kind of go, oh, it does kind of work.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds fun. Um, are there any recent horror films, horror TV shows, series that you've watched that you've been enjoying?
I have just finished I Know What You Did Last Summer, the TV show.
Oh, okay.
I loved the twists. I
Mhm,
really, really enjoyed it. It kept my attention. The lead actor is so good.
mhm.
She's so good. Yeah. And she kept my attention. Like, because sometimes, you like sometimes you watch a horror or something and the leads are just not believable or likable. And
Right.
it's hard to grab your attention. But she was phenomenal.
Mhm.
The only thing I would say about that is obviously we had like the reveal at the end. I think that some things don't quite add up, but loved it.
All right, all right. Yeah, I remember watching that and I really enjoyed it. It's just been a while since I've seen it, but it's on Amazon Prime, I believe.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we watched it back to back.
Yeah, I would recommend that one. And then if you like that, I would also say, have you ever seen Yellow Jackets?
No,
Oh, I think you would like that. I don't know where that one's streaming right now because it was like on Showtime or on like one of them, but
I've
then
never
it
heard of
went, it
it.
might even be on Paramount now. Okay, Yellow
Yeah.
Jackets, it's so good. It has like an amazing ensemble cast. And I just think, yeah, if you like, I know what you did last summer, the series, I think Yellow
Yeah.
Jackets would be a good companion to watch with
Amazing.
that. Yeah. And it has, oh, how many seasons does it have now? Two or three seasons now, and they're working on the next one. So
Oh,
it'll be a
cool.
nice binge.
Yes, yes, exactly.
So, where can people follow you to keep up with all the upcoming films, all the upcoming projects that you have?
So yes, my Instagram, I mainly post on Instagram, and it's just at Louisa Warren, which is my name. So yeah, pretty simple.
Perfect, perfect. I will make sure I will put a link to the Cinderella's Curse trailer in the description of this video, and I will also put a link to your IMDb and your Instagram just so everyone can keep up with your very busy schedule. And I am so looking forward to all these projects from you. So
Thank you.
thank you, Louisa, for joining me. This has been so much fun, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
And you, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.